Picture this, it's 2 a.m. You're staring at a dashboard glowing in the dark. You're an entrepreneur, a founder, a creator, and let's be real, you're exhausted. You've been told your whole life to hustle harder, post every single day, and chase the latest algorithm hacks. But it just feels like you're pouring all your sweat equity into this massive black hole, right? Well, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tearing down all that noise. We're going to give you the ultimate map to stop wasting your time and start actually creating customers. And this is all based on Simba Mundanzvo's absolutely brilliant book, The One-Page Digital Marketing Plan.
Because look, this is the harsh reality for so many businesses today. 10,000 impressions on the left, 0 sales on the right. You've got high likes, high views, but absolutely no movement in your bank account. It is incredibly frustrating to see those vanity metrics just explode while your revenue flatlines. You know, the guru on Twitter tells you you're doing great, but your accountant? Yeah, they're telling you a very different story.
So here is the truth bomb you need to hear right now. You do not have a marketing problem. You have a map problem. And a map problem means your compass is completely broken. You are running incredibly fast, but you're going in completely the wrong direction. Most business books out there, they teach you how to be smarter, but we need to shift your entire paradigm today. We're going to compress the absolute best ideas from strategy, psychology, and internet growth down into one single page. 5 frameworks, one structural system.
All right, let's dive into Act 1, the wrong map. Movement is not progress.
Listen, following random tactics, downloading generic templates, posting daily just because some guy on the internet told you to, that is movement, it's not progress. Pumping money into ads without a real strategy is literally just scaling confusion. The internet is built to bury you if you don't have a plan. Simba puts it perfectly right here. The wrong map does not feel wrong. That is the whole problem. Think about it. When you follow a GPS, you feel like you're making awesome progress right up until you end up in completely the wrong city. A business only becomes alive when someone actually opens their wallet and buys. Everything else, the likes, the shares, the impressions, it's just expensive noise.
Moving on to Act 2, why big companies really win. Stealing Goliath's blueprint.
So, the Goliaths of the internet, Amazon, Apple, Meta, they don't just win because they have billion-dollar budgets. They win through ruthless, structured systems. They have actual frameworks for customer intelligence, distribution, and measurement. But today, we are the underdogs, and we are going to steal Goliath's blueprint because all those systems are built on this core foundation from legendary management consultant Peter Drucker. The purpose of a business is to create a customer, not to get views, not to go viral, to create a customer. This undeniable truth is the spine of our entire strategy. We're rooting our rebellious underdog energy in battle-tested business history.
Which brings us to Act 3, the 5 stones, your arsenal against digital obscurity.
If you are David facing Goliath on the internet, you need weapons. In this explainer, we're giving you 5 specific frameworks, your 5 stones, stolen right from the Titans and upgraded for the AI age. So, let's load the sling. Stone 1 is the customer ikigai. Your customer is not a demographic, okay? They're not some target audience on a spreadsheet. They are a living, breathing human being. This customer ikigai is a 4-dimensional intelligence map of that specific person. When you truly understand them at this level, your marketing stops feeling like a loud interruption and it actually starts feeling like deep personal recognition.
Now, what's really interesting is how we break that intelligence down into the 4 Ps. First, problems. What is the bleeding wound they desperately need to escape? Second, passions. What is the ideal version of themselves they desire to become? Third, places. Where do they hide online to speak the honest truth without you around? And finally, perceptions. What do they already believe about you before you say a single word? Knowing these 4 things gives you an absolutely unfair advantage over competitors who are just out there guessing. It's faster, cheaper, and way more profitable to be first. First, to truly understand the customer.
Then we have Stone 2, Simba's 5 forces. This adapts Michael Porter's legendary strategies specifically for the digital attention war. Look at these 5 monsters standing right between you and your customer. You've got the ghost internet flooding platforms with AI slop, substitute formats replacing yours, cognitive rivalry, where you're competing against comedians and influencers, not just your direct competitors. You've got platform gatekeepers changing their algorithms overnight, and finally the audience's sovereign right to simply ignore you. You have to map these forces to survive them. You must be the first to see the battlefield clearly.
And that leads perfectly into Stone 3. Now, we've all heard of product/market fit, right? Where the market actively pulls the product. But what about content/market fit? This is when the market pulls your message. So the crucial point here is that you must test your message organically to see if it sparks real electricity before you scale confusion. Actually, scratch that. Before you burn a single dime of your hard-earned ad money. Be the first to test the message rather than the last to spend the budget.
Let that sink in for a second. Views are not proof. Likes are not proof. Customers are proof. When a complete stranger pays you without a single paid impression ever touching them, that is the ultimate validation that your message works. We only care about metrics that actually move the bank account.
This brings us to Stone 4, Internet Presence Optimization, or IPO. Traditional SEO, where you optimize one single website for one Google algorithm, that's dying in the AI age. IPO means being freely available at the exact point of need across your customer's entire digital life. You've got to show up everywhere they make decisions, long before they're ever ready to buy.
Let's move to how this builds your IPO constellation. Your customer doesn't just use Google anymore. They're searching YouTube for tutorials, they're scrolling Reddit for honest, unfiltered reviews, they use TikTok for discovery, they're asking ChatGPT or Perplexity for direct answers. Being omnipresent on these specific platforms creates a massive digital moat. If you aren't showing up as the authoritative answer in these places, I promise you, your competitors are. You have to be the first to show up where the customer is actually searching.
Now listen to me closely. Content is not art. It has a job. You are not running a content charity posting just to amuse the internet. Your content must execute a very specific function, moving a human being from a cold stranger to a paying evangelist. So let's look at the ultimate measurement system to do exactly that.
Enter Stone 5, Simba's Content Matrix. This is a brilliant upgrade to the classic Bruce Henderson matrix. If you have high engagement and high conversion, those are your stars. Scale them immediately. If you've got high engagement but low conversion, that's a catch-22. You're getting the applause but no sales, so you need to add a bridge to a commercial action. Low engagement but high conversion, those are evergreens. Protect them quietly, they're doing the heavy lifting. And if it's low engagement and low conversion, that's a zombie. Be absolutely ruthless. Delete it this week, it's just eating up your digital authority.
And finally, Act 4. AI is the engine, but you are the strategist. We hear so much noise about AI taking over, but the truth is incredibly empowering. AI is radically changing the speed of execution, sure, but the underlying strategy, that deep understanding of human desire, it still requires a human mastermind. Think of it as the ultimate Sherlock and Watson dynamic. AI is your Watson. It's the brilliant execution engine that's going to write the code, draft the text, and scale the output. But you are Sherlock Holmes. You're the strategist. You have to map the customer ikigai, observe the market, navigate the 5 forces, and ultimately decide when to pull the trigger. AI is the lever, but your hand must be the one moving it.
You now have the ultimate map. Just like Atomic Habits showed us that small 1% improvements compound over time, this one-page system proves that customer understanding, attention strategy, message testing, internet presence, and content measurement, they all compound into massive sales. You have the 5 stones: Customer Ikigai, Simba's 5 forces, Content/Market Fit, IPO, and Simba's Content Matrix. You know exactly what it takes to stop being invisible and start creating customers. In business, it's almost always faster, cheaper, and more profitable to be first. First to understand the customer, first to test the message. You have the system now. So the only question left is, are you ready to be first and go to war on the internet? Get out there and make your numbers undeniable.